Hey everybody, welcome to Cannonball Sports. My name is Joey Servo. My co-host is Zach Herring. Today we got a couple different topics for you. Some stuff we don't really talk about a lot. We're going to go over some boxing, Wilder versus Fury 2. We're going to cover some hockey stuff. And then we're going to move on to NFL free agency, which is coming up soon. So we'll start off with fighting with Zach because he's more the boxing expert. So Zach, go ahead and lay out the background for Wilder versus Fury.
Well, Wilder versus Fury 2, it is obviously the second fight between the two individuals. We have the Gypsy King Tyson Fury versus the American Deontay Wilder. So the first match ended in a very controversial draw, which everyone thought that probably not everyone thought Wilder should have won, but it was a relatively slightly favored for Wilder. However, this boxing match ended, I believe, in the 8th round, technical knockout.
I guess 7th.
7th. Okay, so
no,
you're good. 7th round knockout by Fury due to corner. I can't remember the name, but his corner threw in the towel. He knew he was in trouble, and they threw in the towel. And the ref saw it and accepted the corner forfeiture is what that's called. Yeah. So the ref accepted the forfeit, and so Tyson walked away with the WBO World Heavyweight Championship, and looks like we're slated for another rematch, as you told me today, actually, right?
Yeah, so there was a clause, I think, in Wilder or Tyson's contract. Wilder.
Probably both.
Yeah, so I think Wilder decided to activate the clause, and the clause, I guess, just allows for there to be another rematch, and I guess Fury has no say on it. But I think in the post I saw Wilder's reason for saying he wanted a rematch was that he was weighed down by his costume, and it made his legs tired.
That's Wilder's excuse? Doesn't sound like a
his
reason.
reason
like
for wanting a rematch. I guess he felt he wasn't in his true form.
What was his costume?
You remember he came in wearing like the crown and the mask, and then he had like shoulder pads on and everything.
Oh yeah,
it was like glitzy.
It was a little theatric.
But when he came out, yeah, I mean, we watched with our friend Brandon at my apartment, and we were like, I remember when he walked out, I was like, that's pretty badass.
I mean, it was pretty cool, actually, now that I remember it. Yeah. But I mean, you can't really. Fury kind of had a similar entrance. He was on a throne and a huge crown too.
Yeah, but he wasn't really carrying anything.
No, he wasn't. He was being carried.
If you are a heavyweight fighter, you should be able to handle some weight on you. I feel like
I agree, and he's like 239 pounds. He should be able to handle an extra 20 or so.
And if he comes out in that costume again, then I'm just gonna be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Or a similar costume.
I'm with you on that.
So, I mean, if that's Wilder's reason, he better come out next week, like in his shorts, just like nothing. He better come out, no theatrics. I said next week.
Yeah, this fight's not going to be next
probably.
Week. Yeah.
He better come out just in his shorts, ready to go. No excuses this time.
I agree.
But yeah, it should be. I mean, definitely the rematch should be great.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Both the first two fights were very entertaining.
I was surprised at the end of the result. I told you and I told Brandon, I gave Brandon advice to pick Wilder for a knockout in the 8th, and I was wrong, so sorry, Brandon, for making you lose the big $10.
And I think it seemed like Twitter, most Americans at least, were really thinking Wilder was going to be the guy. And Wilder's known for his right jab or hook or whatever. He's known for having a great right hand. And you didn't really see him throwing like those heavy strikes. It seemed like he was kind of on the and he did look tired.
Yeah,
I don't know if that gives any weight to his whole costume excuse.
Could be just straight up conditioning.
Yeah,
too.
He didn't look as fit as Fury, and he's a lot younger than Fury, right?
He is, I believe, 9 years his junior.
Yeah,
he's young, quite younger.
Fury, yeah, but I didn't know Fury seems like he has a much more of a reach on him. I didn't actually.
He did. He's taller. He's about like 3 inches taller.
I wasn't
than
watching the. Usually I'm watching when they do like the breakdowns of the fighters with their reach and their height and everything.
Yeah,
but I think I must have been in the bathroom or something. But yeah, I mean, definitely an interesting fight though. I didn't watch the first one. Zach says I watched the first one with him. I don't remember, but
no, that was.
I know I watched.
You watched
the
Canelo Triple G
with
with me.
Yeah,
the first one.
I know I watched.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, earlier.
I know I watched this fight.
Yeah.
Only the second one, but. Yeah, in the fight that I saw, I mean, I was definitely entertained. I've gotten more into. I wasn't into fighting at all when I was a kid. It's more just a college thing for me. But yeah, we usually watch the major UFC boxing events. So I guess that's something we can talk about more in the future.
Yeah, when more come up. Yeah. Absolutely. But I do have to say, I mean, don't get me wrong, Fury won this fight, and I think that maybe you can agree with me. If this fight was going to go the distance, I think Fury was going to win anyway. He won every round, I think. He didn't, Wilder didn't win a single round, with maybe the exception of one of the first two.
Yeah.
It was a completely
The
dominating.
first round, I would say, was pretty even, but past that, you could tell that there was
Fury
an
was ready.
advantage.
Also, a lot of people don't realize this is a lot of people weren't talking about this, but Fury had actually about a 40-pound weight advantage on him as well. I think he was almost 280 pounds. Wilder weighed in at 239, I think.
And with heavyweight, is that the highest weight class? Like, is there
there's in some distinctions there's super heavyweight, but usually not. I think only one faction has it.
You could go in weighing as much as you wanted, right?
For heavyweight most of the time. For the three major boxing conglomerates, WBA, WBO, and IBF, there's heavyweight's the highest, and its cutoff is I think 205. So anything above 205 is heavyweight. So you can weigh as much as you want. You can get as fat or as muscular as you want. But there's a disadvantage to that because if you are lighter for lack of a better term, that Wilder was more time to move around, less stocky. Advantages and disadvantages to it. But
it did seem like you would think with Wilder being lighter, he would kind of have the advantage on the defense. But it looked like Fury was defending himself a lot better than Wilder.
I agree.
And Wilder got knocked down. I think at least one official
knocked down
but
once.
He was slipping
twice.
and falling everywhere,
twice.
especially by like the 6th round, you could tell it was done, and maybe even the 5th. But it was just great performance by Tyson Fury. I got to give him props for that.
Yeah, it was a really, really great fight. I don't know if what the ref was thinking, but since it was due to corner forfeiture, I don't know if the ref was going to stop it. Do you think by watching it when we were watching, do you think he had him on the ropes? Do you think he could have gotten out of it?
I think there would have had to be. I don't think it would have happened in that round, but I think it can go 12 rounds, right?
Correct.
It wouldn't have gotten past 10, I think. Because
he was just so tired.
Tell by
he
like
looked
the
so
6th,
exhausted.
Yeah, you could tell by the 6th that Fury had it, and it wasn't gonna go much past that.
I'm talking about the situation that caused the stoppage. Do you think he could have gotten out of that?
I was saying, I think there was a situation before where I was talking about. I was like, Fury's had him up against the ropes multiple times, and he hasn't taken advantage. And then that one time that he did finally go in and kind of throw some punches while he had Wilder in a corner, they did throw in the towel, but the ref didn't call it. I think the ref might not have called it there, but I think a similar situation would have happened soon to probably make him call it.
I mean,
definitely don't think it would have gone to decision.
I don't think it would have either. But even if it had, I think unless something insane happened,
and I don't think the ref should have called it either.
You don't think he should have accepted the forfeit because the ref
he should have accepted the forfeit. I don't think he should have called the fight like without the forfeit. Where he called it. Yeah. I thought that was
so
what
with
you were
the forfeit, so
was that what you were asking? Or?
Yeah, no, I was asking if they didn't throw in the towel. Do you think that he would have stopped the fight?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay,
I don't think
so either.
Particular situation.
No, I just think his corner knew he wasn't going to win, and this is kind of a situation where he could get really hurt, and they were just like,
And Wilder was compelling for him. He did say that he wished his corner would have let him just get knocked out.
Yeah.
Which I don't really I mean, I can't see that, but I'm not a fighter. I mean, you have your pride, of course, but I mean, like to get knocked out, I feel like is almost more embarrassing than to. I mean,
it also could be more harmful to your career.
Yeah,
I mean, he's still relatively
his ear
young.
was bleeding already and stuff. And I mean, in that situation, I think it's better to be safe. Especially, I mean, Wilder might not have declared a rematch if he got knocked out, and now he's in better shape to get ready for another fight, to get ready for another fight. I mean,
work on his conditioning maybe, or don't wear a giant suit.
Yeah,
to your walk up.
Survival. I think is more important there than pride.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think he was advocating to his corner, like, why did you throw in the towel? But overall, I think they made the right decision for him. I don't think would he have gotten out of that situation? Probably. But I mean, like, it was a situation where he could get really hurt, and I think his corner made the right call. I guess as someone who has done that kind of stuff, I maybe would have advocated for it as well, but not have the towel thrown in. But looking at it from the outside perspective, I can see why his trainers did what they did.
And it might be something he was mad about in the moment, but
and I'm sure he appreciates it now more so than he ever thought.
Yeah. Also your corner, that's the guys that you trust to make the best decisions for you, and a lot of times they're like family and stuff.
Sometimes they're
So
family.
you want your corner to make the best decision for you, and I think that was the best decision for Wilder.
I agree.
So, I think his corner did a good job.
Yeah, and also you got to remember, we're watching it on TV, but they're getting a much closer perspective. They can see his eyes. They can see the way his body's like clumping and stuff like that. Yeah, they probably made the right decision. So. At first, I was kind of confused by the stoppage because at first I thought the refs. Like, what happened? I thought the refs stopped it, and I was like, that doesn't make sense because he looked up on his feet. He wasn't like dazed. Yeah. And then I saw the towel come in. And
I thought it was funny. Me and my friend Brandon, we were both like, "Oh, that's where throwing in the towel comes from."
Yeah,
like we'd heard about the saying, but I didn't know that was actually something you do in boxing. I just thought it was just a saying.
Yeah,
and it was like,
that's what you do.
You learn something every day.
It's because a wet towel on canvas sounds so loud that the ref can hear it, so you can know when to forfeit.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's always a wet towel, and it's always really cold. They keep it cold too. Flap. Yeah, so it sounds like like that. So.
Now I mean the imagery. I kind of want to go and see what that sounds like. I feel like
you just want to go to a boxing gym near here and just throw towels on.
Though.
Okay.
I'm sure they'd love that. They just be like, yeah, go ahead, guys, keep doing that.
All right. But, so I'm excited to see the rematch. Probably not going to happen for at least 9 months though. These guys are going to train a little bit longer. Wilder certainly needs to get his Wilder and Fury both need to recover, and Wilder certainly needs to up his stamina and conditioning for sure. Get some running, and it's not all about power, unfortunately for him.
And that's what I was kind of upset because I mean Wilder, that was his first loss, right? And I mean I've heard in like all of his other fights, he usually like knocks people out, and like I think
out of his 29 wins, he's knocked out 27 of his opponents or something. Yeah,
and I feel like most boxing fans, of course, like to see knockouts, and I kind of wish I haven't watched any of his other fights, so I would have liked to see him at like his max potential, kind of like just throwing people around. So I guess maybe I should go see some Wilder fights in my own time. But
I'm sure he's got highlight videos on time. Yeah.
Oh, Chelsea got a red card. I am watching. I'm watching Bayern play Chelsea in Champions League right now.
Okay.
As a side note, but yeah. So our next topic, Zach's gonna go into a little bit of hockey. The trade deadline was this weekend.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday, Sunday. So
yesterday
or
at
Monday,
4, I believe. Yes.
We're recording this on Tuesday. So, we were just thinking Zach would break down some of the trades that were most impactful, I guess, to the league, and I didn't really follow any of them. I know the Jets traded for 2 players, and neither of them are like superstars, but they're on the Jets now. So, Zach, what do you think were some of the most impactful trades this weekend and Monday?
Well, that's kind of I think a really big one that a lot of people think he's just kind of old. Excuse me. But the Pittsburgh Penguins acquiring, oh Lord, what's his name? I'm looking at Trade Tracker right now.
I did.
It was oh man, he was a Sharks guy, not Pavelski. Patrick Marleau.
Okay.
Patrick. Marleau. Yeah, Patrick Marleau. He's like in his 40s, I think. But he's a really, really good leader.
Has he only been on the Sharks?
He was on the Sharks for like 15, 16 years.
Okay.
And then he was on the Maple Leafs for 1 year, and then he went back to the Sharks for a year and like a half.
For some reason, I thought he kind of moved around a little bit, but yeah.
No, he played for the Sharks for an extremely long time. Yeah, Patrick Marleau from San Jose for a 3rd-round pick. Not bad. I think that's good. I think he's a good addition to the team, and it's also really cool because he actually was American. I think he's American, and he grew up a Penguins fan. So like that's gonna be
fun.
Cool for him. I think this is probably gonna be his last season. He's very old. I don't know if he's gonna do Yager kind of things, but he might. As a Caps fan, I was a very, 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 very big fan of the Ilya Kovalchuk trade. I don't know if you heard about that, but me and Brandon were very, very excited about that. He's an aging forward, but he can still score. He played for the Thrashers, now the Jets, actually. And then he played for the New Jersey Devils for the longest time for the longest part of his career, I believe. And then he retired, played some hockey in Russia for about 4 or 5 years, and then he went to the Kings, got traded to Montreal, and now he is on the Capitals. I'm very, very excited for him and give us some depth scoring. That's what we really need. And because our top 2 lines are good, and we also need defensemen. We also got a good defenseman. We traded away Christian Juice for a guy on the Anaheim Ducks. And but going away from my favorite team and my favorite team to hate, I'm going to have to say that the best trade, in my opinion, was the New York Islanders acquiring Jean-Gabriel Pageau from the Ottawa Senators for a 2020 first round pick, a 2020 second round pick, and a 2022 third round pick. Peugeot is young. It's a lot of picks, but Peugeot is a relatively young,
I've never heard of him.
High prolific scorer.
Is this his like first or second year?
No, he's been around for a little while. He started off his career he's mainly known for in a playoff game where he was on the Senators. It was when the Senators went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and in a game against the Rangers, he scored 4 goals, 3 in a row, including the overtime winner. So he's very, very known for that. He's kind of streaky. Like, he'll go on insane tears, like kind of like what Ovechkin did like at a point in the season. He'll do that, and then he won't score at all, and then he'll do it again. It's kind of his problem. He's streaky, but if he can turn into a consistent scorer, I find Jean-Gabriel Pageau to be like probably maybe like possibly one day like a 50-goal scorer. Like, you can do it. Like, he's really, really good. And I think that since the Islanders only gave up picks, and with the lineup that they have,
Islanders are already pretty good.
With the lineup with like Barzal and those kind of guys, I feel like they might turn into, he's a first line forward probably. So I think he's going to be great.
So this is like a big win now move.
I agree, but I don't know anything about his contract. Yeah. So it could be really, really good contract. It could be like he might be a rental. I don't know. But since they gave up all of these picks, I have a feeling that they're either one of two. He's signed for a while, or they're extremely confident they can get a big extension done with him. It's one of the two.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I do know the Jets got a center.
Jets did?
Cody Eakin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like one of the few NHL players I've heard of, because I remember when I was watching the Golden Knights expansion draft, he was one of the
former Cap.
Yeah, he was one of the players that the Golden Knights picked. Yeah, and you guys were talking about him because you were mad he was off the Caps, or not mad, but you were.
He didn't get taken away from the Caps. He went to the Stars and got drafted by. But he was a former Cap. He started with the Caps.
I remember. Yeah. You guys were telling me about him because he was.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
But only for a 4th round pick. That's pretty good. Cody.
But the Jets
player.
They need I'm pretty sure
y'all need defensemen.
But we need backline centers. We're always bad. Like the 3rd and 4th line centers are always kind of shaky for us.
Who's your 3rd and 4th line centers now?
Well, Eakin will be one of them, and I think the other his name is Appleton, and he's pretty good. He scores goals sometimes, but yeah.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
how's Kyle? By the way, how is Kyle Connor playing this year? I've actually been wondering.
He either scores like a hat trick or he does nothing. Gets like 2 goals.
I'm a fan of his, and I like Scheifele a lot. I know Scheifele's always
good. Yeah.
But yeah, those are my big trades. I don't know if
the
Jets have done anything really noteworthy besides.
My parents are going to the Caps and Jets play tonight, and my parents are going to see the Caps and Jets. And
I did not know
that's
that.
Funny. Yeah, I was like,
right. How about that?
Yeah, they haven't been to the Caps game in a while, so
I'm happy.
They're both huge Caps fans.
Cool. All right.
So yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Good for my parents.
Yeehaw!
Shout out mom and dad. Okay. So anything else?
That's pretty much it for NHL trades. We can move on to our next topic if you'd like.
Yeah. This is going to be kind of a shorter episode, by the way. There's not that much really going on right now because, NFL's dead. XFL this week was really boring. And then most other leagues are just kind of moving along. And NBA is back, but there's not that much happening there. And so our last topic in this shorter episode is going to be some NFL free agency stuff. And some of the big free agents this year are actually, like, a lot of the big names that are technically free agents are going to be tagged, like Shaq Barrett, Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, Jameis Winston. Most of those guys, maybe even Yannick Ngakoue, are probably going to be tagged. So it's kind of like, it's almost like they're like kind of playing toy in our chain, you know? It's like all these guys could be moving teams, but I don't think they're going to. So are there any guys that you think might move that would be significant, Zach?
Well, I don't know if the Cowboys are going to get big deals done at any point for both Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott. I mean, giving one of them a huge deal would probably mean the other one's going to have to take a cut or walk eventually. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you were in your position, who would you want more, Prescott or Cooper? I mean, you got to have a good quarterback to throw the ball.
The Cowboys don't have anybody that is going to step up at quarterback, and quarterback, of course, is the essential position. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm trying to get a deal done with Dak Prescott, but also Dak Prescott thinks he's worth way more than he is.
Didn't he
it's
turn
like,
down a
he turned down $30
million?
million and said he's worth 40, which, I mean, bet on yourself. Go for that. But, it's like,
Got to be realistic with it sometimes.
yeah, you kind of got to take what you're given. And you know that Jerry Jones and the Dallas organization likes having you around and stuff. And, I mean, you know that you are worth something. But sometimes I wonder why these players don't do, especially for their first deal, why don't you help? Well, I guess it makes more sense for their first deal because, I mean, they're coming off a rookie deal. But you need to help your team sometimes, take a little bit of, I mean, Tom Brady's been taking pay cuts his whole career. Dirk Nowitzki did it.
Yeah.
You sometimes need to take a little bit less money so that your team can win. And if I'm Dak Prescott, I want Amari on the team. I'll say, Jerry, I'll take 25 if we can get Amari back, I'll be like.
The thing is, they offered him 30 because with that $30 million deal, they know that they could get.
And he's worth
Cooper more.
Yeah, and I think 30 is a great number for him. Huh? I mean, it's good for Dak. It's good for the Cowboys. I think it works out well.
I think he's kind of.
His numbers are really good.
Like,
but,
upset about it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, maybe this is just my perspective, but, I mean, what's his name? Wentz is getting like $45 million a year or something like that, with plus bonuses and stuff. No, he's getting 35 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe he's mad about that. I don't know, because he thinks he's better than Wentz, and he might be, like, to be honest with you, in terms of dual threat. But like Wentz has Super Bowl ring. He didn't win the Super Bowl.
I feel like they're very comparable players. I feel like they're on like the same sort of skill level.
Good enough to go to the Super Bowl. So like I don't know.
It's like if I'm the Cowboys, I, of course, want to get both guys, but this is actually, I was telling Zach, this is the first year you can pretty much use 2 tags, I think. So you get a transition tag and a franchise tag. And the transition tag works different on the pay scale than the franchise tag. Franchise tag, I think, is like the best. Oh, no, wait, no. Transition tag is the average of the top 5 highest paid players in like the last 5 years or something. And then the franchise tag is the average of the top 5 paid players. Or like the average for the whole position. I forget.
Okay.
It's something like that. So one of them costs a little bit more than the other. So, but you do get 2. So, excuse me. You can keep 2 guys on your teams, and that's good for teams like the Cowboys and the Titans that have 2 major guys that are going to be free agents. Titans have Tannehill and Henry, and the Cowboys have Cooper and Prescott. And, you can use 2 of those tags, but of course, what you want to do for these teams is sign those guys to long-term deals, except for the Titans. I think the Titans would be smart to tag both guys. And also, I was listening to Move the Sticks podcast with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks. Shout out them. But they were talking about why aren't teams doing these sort of 2-year deals for running backs? And I think that'd be a good move for a guy like Derrick Henry, who sort of was average his first 3 years and then sort of burst onto the scene last year. And you don't know how a guy is going to play coming off a year like that. He could keep up the pace, or he could be kind of run down. And you did kind of see him get run down in his last playoff game. And I think that teams should kind of normalize these 2-year deals for running backs, because what kind of happened with like Le'Veon Bell, of course, and I think he's almost an example for not paying running backs, because he said, screw you Steelers, I'm holding out for my money. He got paid a good contract, not even an insane contract, by the Jets, and then he was mediocre. So
yeah, that's true.
If you're in the position of you have Derrick Henry on your roster coming out this season, what would you do?
Tag him. Honestly, I would, just to see how he plays, and if he does really well, then maybe kind of give him like a 3-year, 4-year deal with like a good amount of money. But I don't know. I guess like it's kind of today's NFL. Like I enjoy watching running backs a lot more than I enjoy watching quarterbacks to an extent, and I just think that running backs are a lot more valuable than a lot of people think. But it is a quarterback-driven league. We throw the ball more than we ever have. So I don't know. I would probably it's tough.
I agree with you that good running back play is exciting, but like you wonder why every time these guys get paid 4-year, 5-year deals, they kind of get just lost in like the shuffle. See, happened with David Johnson. He might get released, and you just kind of wonder with these guys like what is the right formula. And I kind of agree with the 2-year idea. And like you look at, I'm a Jags fan, and I mean we have Leonard Fournette coming out, I think in 2 seasons or 1 season. I kind of wonder what we're going to do with him, because, you don't just want to let these guys walk. You got them in the draft. You put a lot of faith in them as the guy. And, I mean, the Jaguars run their whole offense through Fournette. And it's kind of like you want to keep them around. And if they have a good deal, if you offer them a 2-year deal and they say no and they walk and then they play bad, you're like, okay, well, we kind of saved our asses there.
Yeah.
But if you don't offer these guys a great deal and then they go play well somewhere else, it's like, dang. But I feel like it's kind of like the lesser of two evils. And if you're in that position with Derrick Henry, I offer him a 2-year deal. And if he says no, I throw a tag on him. You know, that's what I would do. But it's an interesting proposition. And some of the other big names.
Doesn't sound too bad. Like, it makes sense. But,
Yeah.
like, that's just not how the way the NFL works, unfortunately.
Yeah,
It's just-
I mean, it's kind of hard for these GMs, especially with the running back position. You know, you got to kind of assess where you're at and stuff. And, I mean, it seemed like for a while there we had that stretch of just insane running backs coming out of the league. And then last year it kind of stopped. And then this year there's no really great running backs. You know, it's kind of like, I guess Josh Jacobs last year. But I kind of wonder what, like, the move would be. Like, if the Titans didn't keep Derrick Henry, where do you think they should go? Just Deion Lewis?
I mean, no. I don't know. Draft, trade, what? I don't know. That's a tough question.
Yeah.
They have to at least tag them, and they're going to if they don't get a deal done.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll just tag
I mean, you
them.
do see these teams like the Chiefs having success with relatively no-name running backs. I mean,
Damian Williams is pretty
yeah,
good.
Damian Williams is good, but before this year, nobody cared about Damian Williams. And, you know, it's
Yeah,
like
no, you're
LaShawn
right.
McCoy, big name, but recently not as great as he was in his career.
Not even close.
Yeah, and I mean, you do kind of have to wonder, is the winning formula just skip paying the running backs? You know, it's like,
I mean, they did it with paying a guy only $6 million. And
Yeah.
granted, that's a lot of money to, of course, a lot of people, but not in terms of NFL standard. It's not that high at all.
and you look at the last two teams to give running backs big deals, and David Johnson and the Cardinals, and
You look at the
Jets.
You look at the
and
last
Le'Veon
four.
Bell. Yeah.
With Bell, Johnson, Gurley, and Elliott had a down year.
All
Like,
of those guys,
they're
those
all
teams
big contracts.
probably kind of regret it, you know. And
Yeah.
Gurley might get released too. I heard that.
I
Maybe,
mean,
or
like,
traded.
with Elliott, it is just 1 year.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, and I'm taking this as from like an objective standpoint, he was in Mexico. He wasn't working out. He was just chilling in Mexico, doing whatever, avoiding the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then all of that kind of stuff happened. And then he came back, and yeah, he's probably not going to have a good year when he doesn't sign the deal until, what was it, like September or something? Not September. It was like July or August, and like he's not training with the team. He's not conditioned. So yeah, he's going to have a down year. I think a test of Ezekiel Elliott's contract is going to come this season. If he does as bad, not as bad. He still did fine. But if he has the same level of play or worse, I think we'll realize.
And
that
if
it
you're
wasn't
the
a good idea.
Cowboys and you lose one of those guys, Prescott or Cooper, and you paid Ezekiel Elliott, and he's looking like not the same as he did his rookie season and the year after, you kind of look stupid, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
no, you look dumb. I don't think Jerry Jones
yeah.
wanted to pay him. And
Yeah.
I think Jerry Jones saw the pattern that was happening, and with paying running backs big money and them not performing. And you know what? I mean, maybe if we see Ezekiel Elliott, maybe he was right in hesitating to pay him. I mean, who knows? Like, we'll see, I
And,
guess.
like with a guy like Amari Cooper, you know, he's coming off another great year, and the years before he left Oakland was kind of shaky. They're also taking a risk in paying him a big deal if they decide to, which is why I think the best move, especially for Cooper, is to tag him. I think they should try
I
to
agree.
get Prescott long term and tag Cooper.
That makes sense.
Just because Cooper's history, he's been really good with the Cowboys, but prior to that, his last couple of seasons in Oakland, I think he got like 3 touchdowns each year or something like that, and that's not what you want to see from a guy. And I think it's a tough position for any of these GMs to sort of make these choices, but you need to sort of like set a number for what you want to give these guys, and if they don't do it or not, just tag them. Because this year you got the 2 tags. I mean, I would just, if I'm a GM this year and I got tags, I'm giving them out. You know, that's
Yeah,
what I mean.
I agree.
I think the Jags should with Ngakoue for sure, and they've already cleared the room. If they need to use a tag, they're prepared to use one. I think that's an interesting circumstance, though, because he's shown really cryptic tweets and stuff about how he might not even want to play for the Jags. So it's like, who knows? But yeah, it's definitely an interesting spot. Is there any free agent that you think is going to be like a big, maybe game changer that people like, I don't know, maybe people aren't talking about? Because it seems like all the big names are going to get tagged.
Yeah.
to me.
So another Cowboy that, in my opinion, as someone who has given the Eagles trouble, Byron Jones, cornerback, he's free agent. No one's really talking about him. I think that he's going to be.
And there's no way the Cowboys can keep all of the guys they're losing.
They're not going to be able to give him a long-term deal or like a big long-term deal. So we'll find out with him. I'm interested to see where he goes.
And of course, Tom Brady is going to be interesting, but we know that there's going to be more news with Tom Brady coming out. I've heard that he's going to he plans to have teams come to him, and he's going to do like a one-time tryout in front of a bunch of teams, and that's sort of going to be the gauge. And the Patriots have said they're willing to throw $60 million at him. Not the Raiders have said that they're willing to throw $60 million at him. And if he stays with the Patriots, or if he goes to the Raiders, or if he goes somewhere else, it's going to be interesting. A team like Indianapolis, maybe. But yeah when you look at these quarterbacks, you got Tom Brady. Drew Brees already says he's going back. Teddy Bridgewater is in all likelihood leaving. He's a guy that could get paid.
See, that's the thing that wonders me too. Because what if Teddy just signs like a 1 year, like $5 million deal or whatever, just to be the backup with a guarantee from Brees that Brees will retire and he's handing him the reins?
That might be but.
That's the thing.
Isn't Brees is planning on signing, I think, more than 1 year.
I thought it was a 1 year, $20 million deal.
They haven't done anything officially.
Oh, they haven't done anything yet?
So.
I heard that's what was offered, but maybe whatever.
Maybe. I don't know.
But Teddy Bridgewater, my opinion, it makes sense for him to talk to Brees. Brees talks to him and says, I'm going to take a 1 year or 2 year deal. It's this team is yours when I'm gone, like kind of situation.
And I've been hearing that Bridgewater is supposed to get like some money, like at least in the teens, for millions. And you kind of wonder, is there a team that sort of fits as a landing spot for him? Because you look at teams like the Chargers, Dolphins, Bengals, they're all going to draft quarterbacks in all likelihood. And the Chargers are losing Phillip Rivers. And Phillip Rivers, I think, is going to be more of a desirable veteran than Teddy Bridgewater, because Bridgewater is coming off injuries and stuff. While he had a good season, and I like him a lot as a player, I think that if you're a team that needs a vet, you're going to go for Rivers over Bridgewater.
I agree.
That's funny. They both have like water names.
I didn't think about that.
But it's kind of interesting to think about. I think. Also Marcus Mariota. So you look at like Mariota and Bridgewater are two younger guys that are gonna call some money. Maybe not Mariota so much. Mariota's probably gonna sign as a backup. But Bridgewater is almost a starting quality quarterback, and I think maybe he should go back to a team like the the Saints that are offering him a position sooner, maybe like the Steelers, or maybe even the Patriots. Would be interesting. Maybe even the Patriots, because Patriots, Well,
I've heard a lot of things about the Patriots. And like, here's the thing. I think this is the plan between like the Patriots and the Saints.
Yeah.
So they're drafting later. So like they're like worried about future quarterbacks. So if Bridgewater leaves, I've heard the Saints are gonna try and draft like Fromm or Eason. Mm-hmm. And same with the Patriots too. Like Stidham's
I think the Patriots will make a trade, but I don't know about like Stidham.
Stidham might be their guy they might want,
but I definitely don't think anybody that they get is not gonna be ready right now.
I agree.
I don't think Stidham, or especially for the Patriots, when you look at the standard that Belichick holds the players to.
I agree.
I think maybe a guy like Eason would be somebody that maybe Belichick can mold into a great quarterback. But
maybe
it's kind of like I don't see the Patriots playing with a rookie, which is why I was just saying maybe Bridgewater. But
it makes sense.
It's an interesting spot. Oh yeah, there are some tight ends that I think are definitely interesting. Eric Ebron and Austin Hooper are likely to get new deals. Hooper's a guy that I would love to see on the Jags, but I think he's going to call for some money because he's coming off 2 great seasons. And there's a ton of offensive linemen that are just great guys. Let me read some of the names. Mostly tackles. Where are they? I lose them all. Oh, yeah, Brian Bulago.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Costanzo.
Oh, Brandon Sheriffs.
Jack Conklin, DeMar Dotson. DeMar Dotson's a good veteran. Andrew Whitworth, an insanely good veteran tackle.
Brandon Sheriff's an offensive lineman that's going to get
Brandon Sheriff at guard. Yeah, so there's a lot of guys that offensive linemen that are really good that are probably going to call for some money. And so I think a team like maybe like Chargers or the Bengals are going to have to go for one of those guys to kind of solidify their line. I'd like to see maybe if the Bengals brought back Whitworth was actually with the Bengals. If the Bengals brought back Whitworth at left tackle, that'd be big for if they can get Joe Burrow. That'd be huge for him.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, get some protection.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely some interesting guys that could get moved. Defensive lineman, you got Damon Harrison, who was recently released. Big inside run stopper. Gerald McCoy, good pass
Clowney.
rusher on the inside. Is Jadeveon Clowney?
Yes, he is.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Jadeveon Clowney. I heard he might get tagged, but I don't know. I don't really know what the Seahawks scenario is.
No, I don't know either. Yeah.
Yeah, and Shaq Barrett, who is probably either going to sign a deal or get tagged. Shaq Barrett is a guy. He's actually been talking a lot about free agency. Of course, he's in a smaller market, Tampa Bay, so you don't really hear as much about it. But he said he will give Tampa Bay a discount, but anywhere else he's going to get like a huge bag, which he's the sack leader from last season, so he should get a lot of money. Definitely an interesting free agent. I think if Tampa Bay doesn't mess this up, they're looking at a good deal for a really great edge rusher. Yannick Ngakoue, of course, announcing to everybody that he wants $22 million, which it would be the highest paid edge rusher. And one thing that's interesting with that being the highest paid edge rusher, you see guys like DeMarcus Lawrence got that sort of deal last season. The salary cap every year goes up. So if you're looking at who's going to be the highest paid guy, by the end of their contract, that might look like a steal, you know?
It might, yeah.
If you kind of see where I'm coming from. Like,
Yeah,
I saw a
no, I
tweet
get
about that. Because, like, paying Yannick Ngakoue $22 million right now might sound far-fetched. But if you look down the road in 3 years when the top-paid edge rusher is getting, like, 26 or 27, might sound like a good deal, you know?
See, like, what that to me sounds like I don't expect if Yannick Ngakoue does get that kind of money, whether it's from the Jags or from anyone else, I don't expect that record to be held for more than 1 or 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like,
why.
yeah.
Because it keeps the salary cap keeps
Yeah.
going up. Edge rushers keep getting better, mostly because of bad offensive line form. But that's a whole separate argument. Yeah, so these edge rushers keep getting huge deals, and the salary cap keeps going up. It's sort of like a unlimited money pit. And, yeah, so guys like Shaq Barrett and Yannick Ngakoue and Dante Fowler might be getting big deals. Everson Griffin, really good edge rusher. Yeah, so a lot of interesting. Eric Armstead, I didn't know that he was going to be a free agent for the Niners. They'll probably just tag him.
Probably, yeah.
Niners are in a good cap scenario, right? Or am I missing something? I think they are.
I don't know.
Because they have a lot of young dudes.
Besides Garoppolo,
Yeah.
I think that they're, and Sherman maybe.
Yeah.
They're all pretty set.
At the cornerback position, you have a bunch of washed up. And cornerback is another position like running back. Whenever you pay them, it doesn't work out. You see guys like Josh Norman. Yeah. And a ton of names on here that used to be great players that are now kind of like, Prince Amukamara. James Bradbury is actually pretty good. Rashad Breeland. Let's see who else is. Chris Harris Jr.
Yeah.
Call for a big deal. He's been solid for a long time in the league.
He's 31, though.
Yeah. Byron Jones, Zach mentioned, Jalen Mills, Jimmy Smith, who used to be a great corner. I think he got a huge contract back in the day. Yeah, but he's had a bunch of PD and different drug allegations. So, yeah, some of those guys could be good if they can, kind of sign for a team that's the right fit for them. I think Jaguars should be going for some of those guys. Safeties, Clinton Dix was a name that Zach mentioned to me off the air. And I kind of said he's a guy that, the last couple of years he's been just
He was really good on the Packers, with the Redskins and the Bears, not so much.
Yeah, definitely great with the Packers. Where, if you could, throw him on any team, where do you think would be, a good fit for him?
I don't know why, and you're not going to like this, but Texans?
Okay.
I don't know why.
The Texans they lost, they lost Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
They did.
And, yeah, they could use some secondary help. They got Joseph, I forget his first name, but he's a good corner. Yeah, that could be. I think everybody in the AFC South except the Jaguars has a ton of cap room also. So it's kind of like I always hate because it seems like it's like this. It's been like this the last 3 years. All the teams in my division make what I think are really good moves, and then we're just left there with we just gave Josh Norwell $68 million or whatever the hell we're doing.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's painful to watch.
See, but at the time, those moves were considered good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to remember that.
And then you have some restricted free agents. Matt Breida, Corey Clement, Austin Eckler. Interesting scenario there. If you're the Chargers, do you let him walk because you have faith in Melvin Gordon? Taysom Hill, Kareem Hunt. Didn't Kareem Hunt get released? I don't know.
He's only on a 1-year deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's an interesting scenario because he said he wanted to play quarterback somewhere, but I don't really think there's a spot for him just to play quarterback anywhere in the league. I can't see him
agree.
starting anywhere or even backing up without having Taysom Hill already set his reputation, and he's going to have to do Taysom Hill things, which is it's one of the things that got him noticed in the league in the first place, but it's also kind of like you're damned to that lifestyle now.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
Yeah,
He's
and
a
I mean,
gadget
of
guy
course,
now.
it's not going to be easy. As he gets older, he'd probably only be able to play quarterback. But, yeah, but I mean, of course, it helped him make a name for himself. And I'm sure if he gets, like, released by the Saints or something, he'll probably, I mean, if a team offers him a good contract, I don't think the Saints will match it. And, it'll be interesting to see maybe what he could do on a different team. And if a different team would make him do, like, special team stuff and play wide receiver and things like that, could potentially be interesting. But I really think that if you're Taysom Hill, you need the right fit. I'd like to see him on, like, maybe, I don't know. For some reason, I keep seeing him Falcons. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Just random note.
All right.
Maybe NFC South thing. But, yeah, somebody with, like, a creative play caller, like, of course, like, Sean Payton. But maybe, like, a different creative play caller. I don't know why I can't think of another creative play caller. Andy Reid, somebody like that.
Okay.
Of course, he's
Maybe.
probably not going to go to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
But-
we'll not play quarterback full time for sure.
So those are some of the big names in free agency that are definitely going to be interesting to see coming up. Free agency starts. I'm going to look at
March 1st.
March 1st.
I believe.
So, yeah, and also NFL Combine is coming up.
Yep.
I don't know if you pay any attention to that. Sometimes I watch it on TV. Usually I watch it on TV because it's like in the middle of spring break, and if I'm really bored at like 11 o'clock on like a Thursday, I'll watch spring training. Not spring training. Well, I will watch spring training, but I'll watch NFL Combine stuff. And I remember last year actually I saw Chark's 40 time. I'm like, that guy is fast, and now he's the best receiver on the Jaguars. Not last year, 2 years ago, but yeah, fun side facts. So, yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. Hope you guys have a great week. We're gonna be gone next week. It is our spring break, so we will not be at school. We will be doing things that we cannot say
Okay.
out of fear of certain people listening. But definitely having a great time this spring break. So yeah, check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/Cannonball WCNU, letters WCNU. We got some feedback on last episode, some comments and stuff. So please keep giving us some feedback, guys. Tweet at us, text us if you know us in real life. We appreciate anything you guys can give us to help us make the show better. Yep. Peace out.